Wow, there has been so much progression since the first video that I posted in this series. If you missed that video, essentially what I did was outline what I look to do with this series on my channel here. What I'm looking to do is document my real estate investing journey. I've never bought a house before, I've never owned property, so I just wanted to document everything. So if you were ever considering maybe renting out part of your house, if you're thinking about getting a multifamily unit, then this is a really, really great series for you to watch, because I'm gonna be documenting everything that I've done so you can get complete 100% transparent insight, so you can understand what it takes to become a real estate investor and what it takes to be buying your first property. So I'm really excited to get this information out to you guys, and let's just jump right in. So everything leading up to this point right now has pretty much been all talk. I had goals, I wrote them down, I understood what I wanted as a real estate investor. I understand that I wanted to buy a multifamily unit. Didn't know how feasible it was up until this point, but I've talked to mortgage lenders, I've talked to real estate agents, and I finally have everything aligned, and I want to share that with you guys so you understand where I'm at, my goals moving forward, my plan, and how I'm going to achieve buying a multifamily unit here in the near future. So there's three main things that I've done so far to get to this point where I'm finally able to start going into these houses and looking around and trying to make offers on multiple properties. And the first of which is just talking to those key stakeholders at the very beginning. So at the most basic level, the people who I've been talking to are my brother, who purchased his first home at 24, and then my mom, who's obviously bought and sold multiple houses before. So they have a lot of answers to my most basic questions that pretty much anybody should know when they are considering real estate investing. But there's just so much information that I'm trying to take in, that I'm trying to learn about the home buying process, and they've done a great job at answering any of those questions for me. So if this is your very first time that you're considering buying a home, then you definitely want to make sure you have people looking out for you on all fronts, that they understand the process, they've been through it before, and they can help guide you through the process. Because honestly, without people like that, I would be so lost right now. And even my cousin, who's a real estate agent in a different state, he's really helped me out to understand the different loan types I can go after and a lot of different information. So let me provide some of that for you guys as I move forward. So after talking to them, getting some of that ground level knowledge and understanding, you need a mortgage to buy a home and understanding all of that stuff, my next step was to talk to a mortgage lender. Now this is somebody that's been used in my family. That's how I found them. My mom used them, my brother used them, and actually the real estate agent that I'm using also suggested that I go through this particular lender. So it's really been working out quite well in terms of the contacts that I've created and the people that I'm using to enhance my home buying ability. And it's really just something that you need to get on top of. You need to make sure you can trust all of the people you're working with, and you have a really good backing, and they can help you through the process, because I've really sat down with every single one of them, walked them through where I'm at, and just basically said, listen, this is my first time doing any of this, so we're really going to need to take it slow. You're going to need to explain everything at the most basic level to me, and they've done a really great job at that. So my second step, and really important in this process, has been talking to that mortgage lender. Now they actually have already pre-qualified me for a loan, so I could understand exactly the price range of the homes that I'm looking for. I can understand where I can put my money, how much I'm going to be able to get for a mortgage, and understand the exact value of the property that I could buy potentially. Now they gave me a range. They didn't say, hey, you are set hard capped at this number. Basically what they said with the information that I provided them, I actually filled out this form. I'm going to be displaying the questions on the screen here so you get an understanding of what you need to answer. Now none of this was verified quite yet. That comes later on. I'll talk about that in a minute. But basically after answering all of these questions and they ran my credit score, I was given an acceptance of my proposed mortgage offer of $300,000. Now that is what I asked for on my mortgage application, and that is because what I was looking around when I was just browsing on Zillow, driving around neighborhoods, that is what I saw multifamily units going for in my area. Now these are really kind of the lower end multifamily units in my area. 300K isn't going to get you anything great. You might have to fix it up a little bit. So I actually asked for 300K, and they said, hey, you might want to bump it up to 350,000. And I just talked back and forth with them a little bit, and basically he came back to me and said, listen, everything looks good, your credit score is good, no red flags came up, so we're going to start moving forward with this process. So essentially he wrote me a pre-approval letter for $310,000, but he said it doesn't stop there. If I needed to get more money, it wouldn't be too much of an issue for me to talk to him and see what we could sort out. Because I said $300,000 on that application. He kind of had it in his mind that he would set his valuation there as well. So that's where I'm at right now. Now, he told me about the different mortgage types I could go for, conventional, but what I'm looking to take advantage of is an FHA loan. If you have no insight into what an FHA loan is, essentially you can take as little as 3.5% to make your down payment. So let's say that the purchase price you're looking to buy is a $300,000 home. With some simple mathematics, you can figure out that 3.5% down would be around $10,000. So you could buy that $300,000 home with just $10,000 down. Now that's something that I want to take advantage of. Obviously, the more money you can put into it, the more equity you can have in your house, the lower your payments are going to be. So I don't want to put just 3.5% down. I'm going to be putting ideally a lot more than that. What I'm looking to do is put at least 20K down for my down payment and then have everything, closing costs and everything on top of that. So that's really my goal. That's something that I've structured out, and that's what I talked to him about. And basically we're all aligned with where we're at financially right now. So I do have the green flag to start moving forward and looking at different properties. With the document I'm displaying on the screen right now, you can get an exact idea of what I received from the mortgage lender for this pre-qualification letter. And what I'm doing with this letter is actually forwarding this along to my real estate agent, which was the next step in this whole process, was talking to the real estate agent, getting on the same page, and actually signing them. So let me talk a little bit more about that. So when it comes to selecting your real estate agent, there's really so much to keep in mind, and I would totally recommend that if you're thinking about getting a real estate agent, you're definitely going to want to interview around, get an understanding for where their level is. If you're trying to buy a multifamily unit, you don't want someone who specializes in single family homes that really doesn't have any knowledge, can't help you out, and can't guide you through the multifamily unit property that you want to buy. But essentially, this was the part that was almost a no-brainer for me, because the person who really helped my mom with their mortgage and helped them find their house, the real estate agent that helped them out, this was who I ended up in the long run selecting myself, because I really feel like they have the best interest for me. They worked with my mom. They had really, really great experiences. They're a family friend, so I know they're really going to have my best interest in mind. And that's super important, because I feel like a lot of times when you're looking out there, it's very easy for some real estate agents to be a little bit sleazier, especially taking advantage of new home buyers who don't really know much. So essentially, she is doing a really, really great job of walking me through everything, breaking it all down. And I haven't officially signed this person yet, but on Friday, I actually scheduled the meeting to go in, talk a little bit more, and actually confirm that they're basically going to be my real estate agent. And I'm moving forward. We're going to be able to go check out some of these properties and figure out what to do. So when it came to selecting her as an agent, the basic conversations that we had were covering, what I wanted, what I was looking for in a house. So essentially, I expressed my interest in multifamily units. I'll be displaying the document that she sent over. Basically, what this is just kind of a general idea of the stuff that I wanted, so she could understand where to start looking and present some homes to me that fit this criteria. So I ended up calling her just to talk to her about what I wanted, because I felt like a lot of this honestly didn't apply to what I specifically am looking for, because I'm super lenient. A lot of the stuff on this list doesn't necessarily matter. I don't really understand how much square footage that I'm looking for a multifamily unit. So really, I just wanted to walk through all of this information with her, and I just let her know that almost everything on this list is subject to change. The only thing that was super important to me was location. I don't want to be outside of a 30 to 45 minute commute of my workspace. So the location was really where I'm set on, and everything else I said, I just want a little bit of an area to sit outside. It doesn't have to be a super huge lawn, but hopefully I'll get like a little patio or something with it, because a lot of the homes in these areas are really cramped together. So it'll be interesting to see if I can find that. But essentially, a lot of this stuff up for complete interpretation, and I really could care less about, if I have a garage or not. And moving forward, it just basically was a lot easier to call her on the phone and say, hey, listen, this is where I'm at. It's all going to be dependent on the property, the condition of it. I really just want a rental ready property that I can get some tenants in, start collecting that income, and figuring out what I need to do from there. So really, really straightforward process. But she actually hooked it up, set me up on a website, which is essentially, if you think of Zillow, if you use Zillow, it's Zillow but on steroids. Zillow actually references a site like this to gather the listings that are on this site, and they post it on Zillow. So essentially what's going to happen here is the day that anything around here goes on the market, anything in my criteria that matches what we set up as restrictions, it is going to email notify me, and it is going to ping me, and I'll be of the first to know when a property goes available. So from there, I can be like, hey, listen, this property looks really good. I'm gonna do a quick drive-by, but I really wanna get into this property. Let me know when we can get through, and she's gonna just help me out on that front, and it's gonna be really, really straightforward from there. So all that I have left to do at this point before I can start making offers is really go in on that meeting on Friday, just discuss a little bit more what I'm looking for, ask some more generic questions to her so I can understand, you know, what types of things I need to be looking out when it comes to closing costs and all of that stuff. And she has a really, really great insight into the market. I know she's been a real estate agent for over 19 years now, so really, really veteraned in the space, and I can just trust her with all of that information. So honestly, just talking about the process of the approval and essentially selecting my real estate agent, it's all been really, really straightforward. I thought this process was going to be very difficult, like I needed millions of documents to just provide to each one before I could even make offers or go check out houses or find my real estate agent or any of that information. But it's really been so simple, and honestly, like, it's a little bit weird because I feel like I haven't been verified other than my credit score being run. Essentially on the phone, the mortgage lenders are like, listen, I trust you, you know, if you didn't have a job, you'd tell me, but later on is when you actually provide all of the documentation they need. He's like, I don't need anything from you until really the day we close. So what that means is I have all of this time to gather documentation that he needs. So other documents that he needs from me is going to be my 2019 and my 2018 tax reports, which is interesting because I still haven't gotten my 2019 report back. I haven't gotten my stimulus check because actually the taxes were filed incorrectly. There was a little bit of a weird thing going on with my health insurance at the beginning of the year, so it wasn't reported correctly. So I actually had to fix that, send it back to the IRS, and the IRS has yet to get back to me. They have a few more weeks before I should see any type of return here, and actually the stimulus check should come in after that as well. So pretty excited for that. That's just going to go right towards my down payment, and they're going to acquire all of that information from me upon closing, a little bit before, obviously. The sooner you can get them the documentation, the better, because then they can start actually going through and verifying everything, so that way nothing surprising comes up. And you really want to make sure that you get that stuff in early, because as my brother told me, any little thing that you do on credit, anything you do, anything you buy, any influx of cash coming in, they really need it documented and verified like several different ways, so they understand that you're not just getting somebody to give you money and then you're gonna have to pay them all back. And essentially this process is a little bit, you know, tedious. It's a little bit tiring to start documenting all this stuff, but really you wanna make sure you're on top of it so you can provide all of that information. So far, all of this stuff has happened, all really, really great stuff, moving me forward, propelling me in my home buying experience here. And I'm so glad that I can be reporting all of this stuff for you. So hopefully in the videos to come, I'll be talking more about, you know, going to check out these rental properties, going to check out what they look like on the inside, what I'm looking out for, what to avoid when you're looking for multifamily units, and some of the things that I'm looking for in terms of what I want for my cash flow and what I'm going to be looking to rent out these units for. So lots and lots to come for this series. I'm so glad that you've decided to chime in. You are of the first users to watching this series, because this is really only video number 2 here. So you're on the ground level, and that's a really great spot to be, because along the way, I'm just going to be talking about so much information, so much valuable knowledge that you can use when you're looking to buy even just a regular house, even if you just want to buy a house. But really, my emphasis, like I said this whole time, is multifamily units. So thank you so much for checking out this video. If you guys have any questions along the way, make sure you leave them down in the comment section. I'll be sure to get back to all of you guys with as much information that I can provide. Obviously, I'm no expert when it comes to this, and I'm not trying to be the expert. I'm really just trying to document the journey so that you guys get an understanding for everything that comes along with it. So thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you guys are staying healthy, and have a great day.